Before I get started, I just want to say this is entertainment purposes only for TikTok, and we're here just to have a good time, aren't we? And learn maybe learn a little bit. How you doing, Nashville, Tennessee? Good morning. How are you doing? It's moving pretty fast. Welcome, Bonjour from Quebec. Doing well? Excellent. Good morning, Sagittarius. And Ron. Jeanette, how are you? Grand Rising from Toronto. Air is bad because of all the forest fires, I know. Yeah. I tell you, when I get my payout, I think I'm going to buy one of those water bombers and fly it myself. Just because I want to do something crazy and do something good along with crazy. Cindy from Vermont, how are you doing? Why not, eh? Hello from New Zealand. Good to see you in the house. I know it's it's 11 o'clock there, but I'm glad you made it. Yeah, good morning to you too. And good evening to all the Aussies and Kiwis. How you doing, Randy? Good to see you. Things are going well, other than this communication breakdown. Who sung that song, Communication Breakdown? Miss you yesterday. Yes, canceled. If I usually put a post on there saying when I'm going to be on, then I'll be on. Otherwise, if there's nothing, usually I won't make it. So you can, yeah. And you can get on with your day or afternoon or evening. How you doing, Rebecca? Good to see you. Let's have coffee, you bet. Yeah, got my black jug ready to go. How you doing, Pearl? Good to see you. Welcome, Illinois. Yes, Chicago is in the house. Ishmael had an awesome live about Tartaria. Yeah. And, he's really good at that stuff. He's a very good, teacher on a lot of stuff from the past. And, just an overall good awareness. Yeah. It's kind of funny, how the intuitives out there can see things and, for years and years and years go by, and nobody's really seeing it. They're basically the only thing they're shawning you off and, demonizing you, call you a conspiracy theorist and all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden, 6 years later, it's on every podcast. Everything that you said or tried to say on your podium 6 years prior, it's all out there in full bloom on everybody's podcast right now. It's just, humanity runs really slow. I know the frustration that the truthers and the intuitives and the, light workers, starseeds out there, it's very frustrating for them to see things that they knew. If we could only, start listening to our intuitives, we would be so advanced. Good morning from Colorado. Good to see you. Mama Dillinger, how are you doing? How you doing, Adriana from Florida? Yep. Yeah, it's been hot here. Hey, Juan. Good to see you. Hola. How you doing from, I didn't catch your name there, sorry. Another Kiwi. A pretty Kiwi. G-Day, yes. Alex and family, thank you very much. Yeah, my little boy, the youngest of the family has got his two front teeth coming in and he looks like Bugs Bunny. Yeah. Big pearly whites. Yeah. How you doing? Yes, good morning. We're here for a fun time, exactly. Thank you very much. And learn, to exchange thoughts and ideas. And you know what? This is very, very important. Being that we are the new transmission for truth and no holds barred. I mean, when you think about it, we are the stepping stone of truth, trying to, get all of it out there. What we do need, I think, are, patriots, Starseeds, light workers, all of you, okay? All of the Anons that are out there. You are an Anon, okay? You're working with Q, and what we should be doing is getting people from all corners of the world, any city, doesn't matter if you're in a city or in the country, to, bring in or send in any information that you do have, on your best thoughts, because we will believe you on your best judgment and thoughts a lot faster than we will cable TV or mainstream media. Okay, they're already gone. We have to realize that anything that comes out of their mouth is a lie. Good morning. Forest fires. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of smoke up there. Their fires are there. We're not getting it so bad here in British Columbia, but they're stomping it out pretty good. But I think northern Alberta or northern Ontario is getting it pretty bad. How you doing, Terry? From 3 p.m. from Germany. How are you? Hey, Mickey. Yeah. Capitals, please. Yeah. Thank you very much. Hey, Sean. Yeah, Ohio is getting it bad. Yeah, well, it's the whole airstream, that's going down there, and it's pushing it right down into the Midwest. Yeah, the forest fires. I don't know what's going on in Ontario, and like Edmonton is absolute torrential rainstorms. Like there's a lot of flooding going on there, so I'm like expecting they're flooding out the dumps. The heat is on. Yes, you bet. Yeah, Michigan is bad. Yeah. Prayers for, I know, prayers for everybody in Michigan. It's going right, it's hitting Toronto, Windsor, Thunder Bay, and it's going straight south into Illinois, Michigan. Yeah, I know. And what you need to do is stay indoors, and it's okay to put a wet cloth over your face if you're outside. Just put a wet cloth so you're not breathing in all the fire smoke particle. Because it will make you cough and your eyes sore. So it's nice to have a nice wet cloth around your neck. I can't go outside. I know. I get it. I've been in it before. I know what you mean. Yep. How you doing, Bonnie and Pearl? Yep. Yep. Hola. How's things going? I'm praying too. Yes. Hey, Frank, Papa, how things going? Linda, Robert. Hey, Mary. Big announcement today. There's always big announcements. Lots of things going on. Yeah, I believe, Commander's going to be making an announcement today. Yeah. Hey, Randy. We'll get into it. Most of it's all good news, yeah. If it's a 90-day DNA, will be ages getting this sorted? Well, I don't know about that. No, it's not going to be ages. I think when this thing kicks off, it's going to kick off, right? They're not. I mean, I just don't see it. Everything is so suppressed right now. Silver, gold, all the metals are suppressed right now. Don't listen to it. It's all manipulation. The Indians over in India were buying so much silver, the country itself, the government had to shut all the silver exchange. What is that? Do they know something we don't? No. We know damn well what's going to happen with silver in the future. They can't suppress it. There's too much demand for it. Yeah. Gold might be a different story. we have such an abundance of gold, you know, and it's you can go around. I mean, that's one metal you can pick up right off the right off the surface, and you can do the same thing with copper. But silver is one of those things that you have to go digging for it, right? It's not an easy not an easy metal to obtain. Yeah. Hey, Bet. Good morning to you. Grand rising, afternoon, evening. Thank you, Joan. You're a great monitor. You got millions in Vietnamese darn good for you. Yeah. Go stash it. Go stash it somewhere. People have been attacking me pretty steady on, everything. But like it says, I am here to just get the truth out there. I don't want to be put on any platform and compared to anybody. Okay? That's why I was explaining yesterday. What do I think about the announcement from Trump tonight? Don't know. I don't know what he's going to say. There's something new come. He's a master tactician, and he's got him exactly where he wants him. Good morning from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. How are you? Yeah. Hey, you've been getting lots of rain in Saskatoon. Yeah. I know there's people and travelers that are traveling back and forth right now. There's a lot of high winds, lots of crazy clouds, even funnel clouds. Yeah, in the prairies. Thank you. Yes, they're the deep state they're doing everything they can, but, and that's okay. The more they fight, the more they expose themselves. This is going to be a worldwide cleanup. Yeah, they're already on it right now. I mean, things are moving around. There's arrests that are going on there. Some person might be there one day and they're gone the next. Don't forget the Galactics are in on this too. They're taking a lot of negatives off. We've got all the reptoids off, but there's a lot of hybrids, that are still walking amongst us. And they're the ones that, try to cause confusion and disturbance, and they're agitators, mainly in Antifa, completely black eyes. I've seen them. Yep, I've seen them. They're soulless beings, and that's who they are. I mean, they just have to go, the ICE will not stand. I mean, when you got people out there on the street threatening ICE from doing their job, like I want to unlive you, I want to kill you, right? They're not going to put up with that. They're just going to go after you, and, whatever comes out of your mouth, call it whatever you want, but you cannot be uttering threats like that. How you doing, Rob? Good morning or good afternoon from the UK. Yep. Does Starmer know we will be arresting him soon? Yeah, he knows. They all know. They're all puppets. All the G7, all the leaders that are given, showing restraint or pushing back on what Trump is trying to do by liberating the world. Anybody that's pushing back is a deep state puppet. They're being told to do that. Now, this is part of the show about, the Great Awakening, right? How you doing, Ann? Yeah, a lot of people, still don't see it. They're not seeing it. They're not getting it. And I said a couple of times, you were either dumb or you're an agitator. Yeah. This whole thing is an IQ test. Yes, it is. How you doing, Zulk? Yes, it's a movie. Part of it. But the movie is put in such a play that it's exposing the I call it the worldwide IQ test. And this frequency thing that's going on right now, either they get it or they don't get it, but the IQ test what's going on there is to, either you assimilate with evil or you assimilate with good. And that's really what it's, and that's once you make those moves and, any type of comment, they study that comment and base you, on even the questions that you're asking, is all data mining to, let Space Force know exactly where the frequency is in the world. How many people are woken up? I mean, this is how they get all their stats. And, you can look at Jan Helper Hayes. She's in charge of all that. Yeah. It's not easy to, for a lot of people, it's not easy to see that's not, thrown in their face. But you got to learn to read between the lines and start resonating with stuff that, that is popping out at you. It's not, yeah. I mean, when you get people attacking you, you're on the good side of good. Evil, if they don't like their narrative or don't like what they're hearing, they will get violent. Good morning or good afternoon from New Brunswick. How you doing, Linda? Yes, we're all looking forward to seeing the criminals arrested, and we're all going to see that's going to be, up front and in our face. It's going to be on all channels out there, on your device. Maybe if not your device, it'll be on TV. If not there, it'll be on the radio. And it's going to be for the whole world to see. It's going to be, arrests, confessions, and executions. It's all coming out. Mark my words, that's what's going to happen. Yeah. They have to wake up the planet. We're actually at the point right now where, maybe, I think it's growing exponentially. I really do. Based on, even my, simple podcast on the things that I was talking about for years and years. And, a lot of it's repetitive, but I'm learning as, along with everybody else is, right? And I'm getting the information out there and we're bouncing good ideas off each other. I think it would be a really, big thing to have people report on these lives, whatever you're hearing. Don't be scared to put it in there. Just throw it out there, and we are all going to listen to that a lot more than we're going to listen to cable TV, right? Or even the truther pundits that are out there in social media. A lot of them have handlers now. A lot of them are into selling their own product, which I guess is okay, but that's not what we're here for. I understand that they got to make a living and whatever, but you got to balance it out. You should be able to go out there and provide for yourself and then take time out to get on there and not, unless you're selling a decent product. If you're something that's a good product out there, like, like this copper band, right? There's a nice, beautiful copper band there. You're making them, I can buy them, whatever. I might sell them because it's going to help humanity, and it's not for a profit. It's basically just to stuff I can understand. And I'm even going along with, and we should be there. And I think Scott McKay and all his meats and beefs and all this other stuff that he's buying, he's there to help humanity. So, yes, of course, you want to buy the product from him instead of down at your local store where you don't even know where the meats come from or anything where it comes from. All we're doing is supporting the deep state and the communist governments that are controlling some of these countries. Why should we be supporting them? Why should we be paying taxes? I mean, it's absolutely insane. I've been preaching that stuff for over 10 years. Nobody's your friend except we have family here. This is where we can connect, right? Yes, the movie is unwinding right now. We're seeing in real life what's going down as far as the takedown. But they have to get the frequency to such a point that, when they start seeing these arrests, we don't create a whole bunch of riots and, people going against the narrative and exactly what, they might look at it instead of liberating themselves. They might look at it as illegal arrests, right? And they're just trying to educate the people out there, and this is why it's getting dragged out, because humanity is slow to getting it figured out. We are the only ones that have all sparks are sparking on all cylinders upstairs here, right? We're sparking on all cylinders, yes, and a lot of people aren't. They just they're not connected. Yeah, I'm doing great. Yeah, thank you very much. I'm drinking my clove water, cinnamon water. I'm not taking any. I'm not even taking any supplements. I enjoy my coffee and have a little bit of food, and that's about it. Yeah. Hey, Sean. Good morning to you. Yeah. Yes, you're watching the Cabal series, 1 to 10. Yeah, that's on the Rumble station. Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? Yeah, we have all been lied to. We have all been poisoned. And, the more that you were against the establishment, the more you were taking care of yourself. This goes back decades upon decades. How you doing, Mama? Yep. Scare event is incoming to help wake masses. Yes, exactly. They're moving all the military in place. I mean, like I said, I reported Apache helicopters, Apache Blackhawks in Kelowna, which is central British Columbia, Canada. Also, they're in Ontario. And we need to have people in those places, let us know what's happening. If you see any air traffic, military air traffic, call it in. I mean, let's look at the scenario here. People say all the left and whatever, they're out there, they're screaming, hollering and screaming that Trump's invading all these countries. No, he's not invading these countries. He's cleaning out the deep state, the NACIs. I've already gone over this. He took on the cartel in Mexico. He didn't hurt the people. He took on the cartel because they were in the streets shooting things up and killing everybody. And then they moved on. They moved on to Venezuela. I mean, Venezuela was one of the biggest operators of the Smartmatic and all these other. They were funding a lot of that stuff on the voting machines that were, flipping the votes over to the the Democrats. So we knew all that, and it's the same thing as what's going on. The level of corruption in these states. That's what he's cleaning out right now. Then he moved on from there, Venezuela. He moved on to Cuba, and Iran. Iran is the biggest troublemaker in the Middle East. It has been for decades, absolute decades. I watched it. And you ask any person over there, they're the bullies, right? And of course, who's going to be next? Canada. Who's the northern border? Canada. And who's the enemy of Trump? The globalists that have taken over our parliaments in Ottawa. Those are our houses, and the deep state's in there, right? And then they're trying to, go around and take our guns illegally. They're trying to shut us up illegally. Of course we want to have our First Amendment, our Second Amendment. We want all that because that's what we deserve. It's our God-given right. Why, who are they to tell us what we can or cannot have? I mean, I never voted for them to control me. No, Iran's not evil. It's not Iran. It's the deep state NAZIs in Iran that is evil. They're see. This is the confusion thing. This is what confuses everybody. Every country on the planet has a deep state level to it. Evil. We have Satanists all over the planet, including in Russia, including in especially Ukraine. Some areas are more evil than others. They have absolutely penetrated every level of society in our world because we've allowed it. We've allowed them. And this is, but this is what the, Global Alliance had to do. They had to allow this whole thing to be taken over by the deep state to bring the whole thing down. Okay? Because that's what they wanted. But Trump, being the tactician that he is, he brought it all down. He says, let them, never interfere with the enemy when they're destroying themselves. And that's what he was doing. That's why he walked away those 4 years, for those 4 years, to watch, them, decimate the United States from within. So people could see that. We've gone over this, and people are still saying, when you have one apple in a barrel, that apple's, you got, and I look at that barrel and I say, there's a rotten apple. I don't mean the whole barrel. I mean, get those 3 or 4 apples out of there so it doesn't rot the rest of the country or the barrel. And I don't mind explaining this because we have a lot of newbies coming on just, coming out of their sleep. Yes, I know Australia is getting help from Mr. T and the military. Military's there. Yep, don't worry about it. They're there. They're waiting for the for the EBS, and then they're going to pounce. New Brunswick is freaking doomed. Listen, Canada's doomed right now, and it's going to stay this way. We will suffer because of what's going on here. Because why are they leaving us? Because we have so many sleepers and so many lefties, liberals, all Kool-Aid up, okay? Because they're NPCs. They go exactly what the government says, and they still haven't come out of their coma. And they're the ones that are going to make the rest of the country suffer because they haven't woken up yet. They need first they need a slap in the head, and then they need a slap in the bank account. And I'm ready for both of them. How you doing, girl? What do I think will happen after the announcement tonight? Not sure what they're even going to say. But this is a progression, okay? The progression of these announcements that are going on. You always have to look not exactly at the words that Trump 2.0, 3.0, whoever's there now talking. You got to read the comms. Read, what's between the lines. What's he saying? Because everything's in code. Listen, okay, I want to jump on something right away. He announced the other day that he's got his signature, him and Bessett have got their signatures on the $100 bill. Now, I think there might be a $250 bill that is celebrating the 250 years. Is that going to be his face on that with the signatures? Well, time will only tell. He's even got his own gold coin now, or a replica of a gold coin, in a $1 coin. Is that a $1 coin that's going to come out there? People be able to walk around. I mean, is this the, the way I look at things is that, these coins that come out there, they've never had a $1 coin in metal before, the United States. That says a lot. Because that, to me, sounds, it's getting the people used to having a dollar coin in their pocket. Oh, I got 10 coins. That's $10 in my pocket. And they all got Trump face on it. You see, it's going to drive the left absolutely crazy because they're going to have to carry Trump's face around in their pocket, right? That's what I'm seeing. That's the mentality I have. So I'm seeing, this implementation of this new money. And they're showing you pallets and pallets of it. We're also seeing all the gold that's in, some vault. Maybe they're calling it the Fort Knox vault. They got the big door and they open it up and it's all stacked up in there, whatever. And they say it, Bessett says it's all safe and sound, and he's going around with the announcer there. I forget his name. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. You know who the guy I'm talking about. Yeah, he's on Fox. Good-looking black hair guy. He's got black hair. Shit. Anyways, it doesn't matter. He was in there doing that announcing there, and they're basically showing you how this is all going on. And he was out there with a whole sheet of $100 bills, with showing that was what was happening, right? So they have to, kind of butter it up for humanity to get their heads around, because people don't change that fast. How you doing, Patrick from Ireland? Good to see you. Our Irish brothers and sisters putting up, yeah. You're doing a good fight. I don't like Arabs, but 100%. Well, yeah. Listen, I don't have any problem. I do not judge anybody by the color of their skin. I only judge them by the content of their character. Yep. I mean, if you're gonna attack me, or if I'm on a plane and you're gonna do something stupid, I'm gonna be on you like ugly on an ape. Yeah, it's just the way it is, And there's a lot, like it says, you're not gonna be smart by going to university. No, there's no such thing as learning common sense. Okay, there's no such thing. Everybody that's got schooling, diplomas from college or university, it's all worthless. All that paperwork's worthless. All you doctors, everything out there, it's all worthless, because you were all part of the matrix. You were all going along like sheep in the matrix. Yep. And the smart ones are going to be the one that never went to school, that fought against it. Those are the ones that will have the common sense and be in the asset column. I'm inherently a good person, but make stupid comments and decisions. You're safe. Everybody makes stupid comments. I mean, nobody's perfect out there. If people were perfect, right? You tell me where they are. God doesn't pick perfect people to do his, to go fight the fires, to go to war. He's using imperfect people to go fight the war. Trump, okay? He was the perfect candidate for that, because of who he is, right? You either love him or you hate him, and this is how this is going. He was there along with the Global Alliance to help raise awareness and put, either you love him or you hate him, and this is, everybody needed to go in those categories. And you're saying, because one thing that he did uphold, he was saving the children, and he was teaching everybody out there to love your children more than you fear evil. Okay? He has doing the things that he's doing because he he's bringing Jesus Christ back into the White House and into the United States of the Republic. Okay, if you're not aligned with that, then you're evil. You're on the bad. You're on the dark side of this pendulum, and it's not going to end well for you. End the story. And people can say whatever they want. There are people that right now that are in many different countries. They're illegally, and you're going to end up getting picked up, and you're going to end up getting sent back home. And you, because of what you did, because when you entered, you broke the law. That was the first law you broke by coming in, and you might not ever be allowed back based on that. Countries have to protect their sovereignty. I get it. I understand. I'm a little bit of an agitator when I spent 35 years in the Philippines, back and forth, and I worked in many, many different countries. I realize and I understand what what they want from their visitors, to respect their frickin' laws. No one in my life knows anything about this. No, because you've been chosen. Okay? You've been chosen. You've been chosen by God, okay? Your intuition has been blessed. Your pineal gland has been opened, okay? It's really coming down to that. How you doing, Patrick? How you doing, Silver Fox? Yeah. That's right. Just give it to God. And like it says, just thank him every day for, giving you guidance. We all should be thankful that we're still here after everything that we've gone through. My God, it's been just brutal. Now, I have to jump on some pages here. Now, there's a lot of things that Jaco's saying right now that's coming true. And, he's in war mode. He is in really war mode because he's getting very, very tired, along with a lot of truthers out there and social media, alternative news. Many of them out there are saying, we're not going to put up with this too much longer. So when they start saying stuff like that, it means that we're extremely close for watching this go down. And I just want to make it very clear that that little state that's in the Middle East next to Jordan, that little wee one that I'm talking about, Iran has just been hammering it. Okay? They have been dumping all their reserve, drones, loaded with bombs and everything, and they've been blowing right through their Iron Curtain, whatever, the dome, the Golden Dome, or whatever protective dome. Yeah. How you doing, Isabel? And it's just, they're getting a taste of their own medicine. Anybody that is still in that little state after they've been warned, they are part of the cabal, CABAL. Cuba's already taken care of. They have military special operators in Cuba right now, cleaning out the mines and all that stuff right now. Yep, they're being handled. This is a military operation. And they're not going to be advertising like General Schwarzkopf did back in the days of Iraq invasion in 1990, where they were, on the, the TV camera was there, and all the generals had their little sticks, and they were out there pointing at all the explosions and showing, and they're not going to do that. This is 21st century warfare, 5D. Yeah, 5D warfare. Trump is not that type of player. He doesn't advertise what he's going to do. And he's certainly not going to advertise and let the world know where his military is. He's moving things around. Trust me. Trust me in that, folks. He is doing an incredible job. Yeah. We don't have smoke in BC. No. No, because like I said, that's a westerly upper flow. Yep. Good morning or afternoon high maintenance. But we have an upper airflow. And if it was burning in, say, Kelowna or anywhere around there, we'd be getting the smoke. But it's bad in Ontario. That's why, because that's where all the population is. Northern Ontario is getting burned right out. So is there fire starters there? Is it direct energy? I mean, who knows? There's a lot. I know that there's a lot of dry lightning that could be getting it started. But yeah, Cuba's getting clean. I mean, Canada's next. Okay, that's why I've been saying, like, I did a couple of posts yesterday. We can see the pattern, and I don't look at the everyday stuff. I don't wrap my head around that. I try to pick up things, and what I want is the information coming in from all you digital warriors. Feed me that information so I can jot it down, because I trust what you are seeing in what country you're in a lot more, right? I mean, we're getting, things that are going on there, because we're not going to get that news. Not even, because how is it going to get out if we don't have boots on the ground? We have investigator reporters, we can call them wartime reporters, or we have, wartime citizen reporters, right? And that's who you are. Yes. There's not a guy out there with bigger kahunas than our president. And I'm a Western Canadian. I have got red, white, and blue tattooed on my heart. Absolutely. I know where this thing's going. I do not have red and white with the maple leaf. No, because that's all been portrayed by the CABAL. We all have to learn to read through the bullshit. Yes, Vance is a 2.0. So's the commander. They're not going to put the real McCoys out there because we're all in danger. As long as there's life left in the DS, they are a threat. How you doing, Lena? So sad for the people and animals in the trees. I know. The bad air around Quali. I know it's bad. It's brutal. I know, and like it says, the animal. Okay, I'm a bit of a bushman, and I know animals, if they get caught, they'll get pushed into the lakes. Okay, there's 100,000 lakes in Ontario, and they're all taking a dive right now, and until the fire. Yeah, that's where they go. They'll run into the lakes. They'll be they know where they're. I mean, some won't make it. I get it. I understand, but I see this in British Columbia all the time. And those deers, elk, sheep, cougars, mountain lions, bears, they all head for there's nobody's fighting each other. They're just heading for water. Yeah. Yeah. Good to hear. Yeah. Thank you very much for your support. What are the chances civil war in the United States and in Canada? Well, I think it's going to, that's a really, really good question. And I think, to answer this thing as best you can, don't sell your ammo. Keep your pew-pews all greased up, ready to go. And then tuck them away somewhere. It gives you a sense of security. It gives me a sense of security. It does. And, but like I said, I think eventually the military is going to have to come in and clean it up. That's exactly what they're doing on Iran. They'll have to come into Canada and do the same thing. I don't think they're going to leave it like this, because we have everything that Canada is doing is against what the JSARA is doing. Now, I look at it from a pragmatic point of view, okay? JSARA was signed by Canada, the white hats in Canada, okay? the ones that are really taking control. Now, who's really taking control? I believe the Global Alliance have taken control of Canada. And we're watching these CABAL operators do their thing and, just do one screw up after another till it gets to the point where everybody in Canada hates Cornball. I don't call him by his name because he's not. He's, now we have pictures of him in the same pond or whatever they want to call it at Epstein's Island. Having margaritas with with the real criminals and the PEDOs. There's pictures of them not coming out now. So they're waking up the dum-dums in Canada to all this. So, but I'm also witnessing many companies in Canada dying, and they're not small companies. They're closing up. Anyone making derogative comments towards Trump will be muted. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah. Trump is a liberator, and he's here to help humanity. He's not just here to help the United States. He's here to help the Americas, which is 36 countries inside the Americas, okay? When he says America, he means all the 36 countries. That's from Greenland down to the tip of Argentina. Someone said we won't get... Oops. Oh, boy. What are your thoughts? Okay, hang on a sec here. I missed that one. What are your thoughts on what President Trump will be speaking on tonight? Not sure. We're just going to have to wait and see. I don't like to speculate on stuff like that. Tess, you must have laser slingshots. Yeah. Well, there's lots of ways. I mean, you know what? There's lots of things that you can stick in your pocket to protect yourself. I'm really scared. Not scared, but I'm concerned about all the young ladies out there getting caught in very bad situations. Because you're under attack. The young girls are under attack right now because we have so many foreigners over there, especially our children as well. We have so many PEDOs out there that that they think. That's what they were growing. That was what they were groomed for in their own country. They think it's normal. U.S. and Canada is united, of course, and we'll fight. If anybody, and if we're going to be fighting, we're going to be fighting against the lunatic left. Now, let me just point out something here. A lot of the Antifa, the left, or whatever, they are all been programmed. They do not have, they're almost, they have parts and pieces that are not human in them. This is part of this cloning thing that's been going on there right now. And if you take all the left, and this is what the Global Alliance has been doing, has been trying to figure out, because there's a couple of things that are very giving, very telling about who they are, and that's their actions. And when they do get arrested, they will be, gone through and to see exactly what their chemistry is. Because, they're, and if they're, clones or whatever they're else, they're going to be dealt with accordingly. This is what we're dealing with right now. Don't think Dolly the sheep back in the day in the 80s was the last clone that went off, that went, was finished. No. They were doing that in manufacturing. There was clone factories all over the world that they were taking out. This is a complete mess here. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah. Yep. I pointed out, I usually keep people on, and I will give them the benefit of the doubt 2 or 3 times, and then because every time they say something or come back, it gives me gives me time to analyze what they're saying and really get figured out who they are. And then, like I said, they're either, they either have very, very low IQ or they're agitators. And if they're if they're either, low IQ, I could work with. Agitator, I just know who you are, and I'll just deep six you. Yeah, love Trump. I love his brand. I mean, he's a kind, giving person, and a very, very generous man. I mean, having beautiful, what has he got? 11 grandchildren. He's got all his other children. I mean, he's a very successful human being. Yeah. And people say, well, he went bankrupt twice. Listen, in the business, I went bankrupt twice. I'm in the same business as he is. But I don't have $11 billion in the bank, right? I tip my hat. I salute him. The guy's he's the grandmaster badass. I'm in the same business. I'm a developer or old structural engineer, and he's that and beyond. And he had to do it inside New York up against the mobs. I mean, I was just traveling around just chasing the dollar, right? And when you're in construction, you're going to deal with the mobs. That wasn't my position. My position was go there and put the buildings up based on our product being brought out of Canada, Western Canada. Then Jason said, yeah, okay, well, whatever Jason wants to do. If he, all these guys are just exposing themselves, because they have TDS. A lot of people have TDS. That's why Trump was put in that position. That's why there was such a thing to come up with, Trump derangement syndrome. Right? You either love him or hate him. And, but what that does when you hate him, that basically triggers a algorithm that they're going to have to go a little bit deeper to see why you would hate anybody that is trying to liberate the world. And why can't you see what he's doing? Why can't you see that? That's what it is. It basically is you're advertising yourself, which is good. How you doing? Yeah. Trying the clove and cinnamon with honey? Yep. Tastes pretty good. Yeah, it does. Keep drinking it, And like I say, you're going to have a parasite explosion, but you're going to feel your joints get cleaned up. You're going to see a lot of things. Your liver, kidneys, everything gets cleaned up. Your thinking, you're going to start thinking clearer. You won't have any brain fog. Yeah. Yeah, he's a liberator. He's a liberator not just for the Americas, and I call it the Americas because we have 36 countries in them, but he's a liberator for the world. He's got 170 countries signed on to basically donate their militaries, which are all had given oath to help protect humanity. Okay, they had. I mean, the amount of work that Trump had to go through to separate the deep state out of the military to the good. They had to do all that. So, you got to tip your hat to him. I mean, I don't. If he says goofy thing, I mean, he's quite a comedian, but the left just hates that. Hey, Queen La. Yes, you can just carry it in your purse, foaming wasp spray. They say, well, you're not supposed to have, it's illegal to have bear spray. Are you kidding me? When you're in bear country, and they say, well, where is bear country? All of Canada, all of it is bear country. Trust me, I've from one end to the other. See bears everywhere. Especially during the summer, they're out there eating their berries, and there's blackberry, wild blackberries and blueberries out there, and everything that's along the side of the mountains. And you want to go out there and start hiking through there during the summertime, you're going to run into them. You're going to need bear spray. Personally, I carry a big-ass gun. Yeah. How you doing, Joyce? Hey, Mike. High maintenance. Yeah, good to see you. 1224 cloves. Yes, that's right. 2 sticks of cinnamon and water. Let it sit overnight. Yep. Yep. Hey, Zeus. Yeah. Bye-bye, Zeus. That's what Dino says. Yeah. Hey, Bonnie. What's Bonnie say? I'm sorry. Yes. Well, we're going to have the final wake-up call when the banks shut down and the EBS, and this is going to be posted right on TV. And we're, at that point, you either assimilate and understand what's going on, or you just don't. Yeah. Yeah, it's a test, all right, to find out if you got TDS or not. And a lot of people do. Right? Stand in line, at the store and say, Trump won't allow that. Yeah, I don't want to start a SHIT storm. No, I've already gone through all that stuff during the 2020, I call it the 2020 Olympics. Yeah. Because you were always running and dodging, and you had to be a physical athlete to get through it all, and that was mental gymnastics as well. How you doing, Monique? Yes, well, there you go. Bonnie says mental health is connected to the gut, so I plow back to the cinnamon and clove water again, because that cleans the gut. You will have so much more clarity and thought, and even your eyesight will come, get a lot clearer. Mine's not as clear, but I can drive without glasses, and I can do anything I want without glasses. It's just that this fine printing, I need these little reading glasses so I can all read all your comments. Hey, Jim. Well, XRP and XLM, Jim, it's all being switched over. Everything. There's, I don't know how many. What is it? I think there's 25 now. Different 3-letter identities that match up with the metals. Yeah. And that's what we're going to be I believe that's all going to go to token. That's what I'm seeing. That's just my opinion. That I think the dollar bill is just there to irritate the left and make them go sneaky, and it really they just lose it. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much, Stargazer, for muting Zeus. Yeah, I know. We got to have him checked out. I don't think he's totally human. Yeah. And you should not be scared. I mean, if Zeus would come out, I would love to see, take your glasses off, Zeus, and let's get a picture of you, exactly who you are in the light. Can you do that? Because I can certainly do it. I don't, I'm not scared to show my face. So I just want you lefties to show your face. You can't do that because you're guilty. Yes, that's what we do. No, you don't boil it. No, just put it in water. You don't need that. That's basically a cold press. You don't need to boil, really, when you think about it, when you boil something, you're kind of boiling it out. So you could, if you want to put lemon or lemon peel, or to make hydroxychloroquine, and the grapefruit peels, just throw it in water, right, and just leave it. It's not going to go bad. It's at the very worst, it might ferment a bit. You might get a little alcohol out of it, right? But you could put things in there and drink your salt. This salt here is that's from the Philippine Sea. That salt, right? That's from the Philippine Sea, and very, very nice stuff. And it has iodine in it. And you're going to start seeing when you go to the shopping store or the grocery store now, look, and you go into the salt area, just look to see on that salt if it's got if it's iodized. If it is, then that's good. Buy it, right? I think that part's coming back. Yeah. Did they take your Facebook account away? No, they didn't. No, it's still Alex West. No. I changed the face on it because I didn't want to expose my my family. So I just put the Spartan. Yeah. Because I was getting a lot of people on there. Right? You can't find it? Well, just can you find me here? Then just friend me, yeah, and I'll follow you back here, and but it's there. Yeah. Just don't put it in capital letter. Put ALEXXWEST. Just and put it that way. It should be there. Yeah, well, everybody should be wearing, who they support. I mean, that's what the left tried to do. They tried to support China Joe. That didn't go over too well. But it gives people a prognosis of what is going on. And it's like that little girl that got attacked, and she's just walking on the boardwalk, minding her own business, and she's attacked by this lunatic, crazy Canadian. How dare you? You're. I mean, we have turned into from the nicest countries in the world, because to being absolutely the laughing stock of the world, and people that come here just say, I'm ashamed to be called Canadian sometimes because of the way we act. I mean, how do you boo another country when they're singing the national anthem? I mean, how disgusting you people are. I mean, you have no, and it just shows me, and the rest of the world, how much contempt you have for other people, and how you are to yourself. How you doing, Running Frog? Thank you, Stargazer. Sorry about that. Hey, Melissa. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah. Can you unpin me? Unpin, please. Hard to read comments. I'm not sure how do I unpin. Is it me you're talking about? I don't know. Hey, Charlie Ward. Oh, Charlie Ward. He's not on TikTok. No. He's only on. I believe he's on Facebook. He's on Rumble. I would never ever boo any country's national anthem. I mean, there's just a lack of respect there. I guess I was. I was able to walk through many, many different countries with, unscratched, because I respected the land that I walked on there. I seen a lot of idiots out there not respecting it, and they got their ass kicked. Yeah. I can tell you stories. Yeah. How you doing, Gentle Storm? How you doing, girl Roxy? Hey, Melissa. Sean, good to see you. Charlie Ward is not on Facebook. No, I haven't seen him. I think he's Rumble only. Yeah. We have to pin stuff. Yes. I mean, the thing is you can come on here. We try to stay on for a couple hours every morning. And, if you got information, doesn't matter if it's a day old or 2 days old. We just want to hear what's going on, because we're getting nothing but BS. Okay. From all this postings and everything, even on TikTok, even on Facebook, even on YouTube. It's all, until we got, clarity. Yes, I trust Charlie Ward and things that he says, and people, I'm not going to go down there. How you doing, Sandy? Hey, Doris, good to see you. Any thoughts on Trump's speech? No, I don't have any thoughts on his speech tonight. No. Do you buy sovereign coins, regular silver coins? Yeah, or bars. I buy coins. I do have bars. I have been bought bars back in the day, and I've hung on to them. But they're not as easily to trade. They are, yes and no, but they're not as easily to trade as they are as coins are. How you doing, Virginia? Please tell me it's really you talking to me on WhatsApp. No, it's not me. I'm not on WhatsApp. I don't have WhatsApp, so it's not me. Yeah, and like I said, I will never, ever ask you for money. I will never ask you to DM me, right? You can go to my Facebook, which is Alex XX West, okay? On Facebook, you'll see the Spartan with the American flag. And then in the background, you see my picture, like what you kind of see in here, okay? And that's on my Facebook. And on YouTube, it's Alex XX 777. That's on YouTube. And of course, you're going to see Big Daddy out there because Big Daddy, still hackers. I call them the commie hackers. Right, they stole my content a long time ago, and they're still using it. Just don't. You can watch it. It's Big Daddy, whatever. You can watch it, but don't send them any money. I will never ask you for money. I'm not on Telegram. I'm not on WhatsApp. No, I have to keep it simple. Right. And I do have Telegram, but I only pick up information off of Telegram. And WhatsApp is more of I think it's a chat. You do a lot of chatting on that, stuff like that. And I just not have it. I just don't have it. I can't have it because I don't have any number I can apply it to. I don't have a phone number in Canada. Whenever the U.S. national anthem gets sung, you get goosebumps. Yeah, good for you. You're human. You have passion, and you have you have compassion, and that means you have got Jesus' bloodline. That's what I call y'all, and that's you all have Jesus' bloodline. It's a frequency, right? We're not here to hurt. We're here to love. Should we sign up for QF? No, QFS is free and it's already signed up for you. You already got QFS attached to your accounts. Nobody signs up for anything. Don't do anything. Right? Don't do nothing. Nobody move. Nobody going to get hurt. We're just going to wait for this thing to get out. We're going to, what I want is to have everybody exchange information onto this platform. Okay? This is the Truther platform. Okay? Not just, I wouldn't exist without all of you. Okay? And we have, I've posted it a couple of times. We are 225,000 likes every session. Anywhere between, I've seen a couple of in there at 275,000 likes. And so they had to come on to like it, right? I'm assuming that. So, but we're just, because we have that many people now, followers or people that are joined onto this platform, the TikTok, we have kind of control because of the algorithm, because the amount of people. We have influence. Okay? We have influence now that, they don't kick me off. I got kicked, I've been kicked off of TikTok and many other, more than 100 times since I started this. But they keep coming back. And then, but we couldn't be as strong as we are to this day without all of you. So, we're doing this collectively. This is a perfect example of, what, Maximus Aurelius said. Okay? You stick together, we survive. Right? That's how it's always done. Yeah, I'm not sure about how that does not invite. I don't invite guests. You come on, you friend me on TikTok, you follow me, and then I will get there and follow you back. If you do not have a picture, okay, or if you're using somebody else's name, I'm not going to include you. I'm not going to friend you back or follow you back. It's the same thing with all my, yeah. I have to look at it and look at each one of your pages to make sure you got some content, okay, to make sure that your account is actually, active. No, you don't sign up. Nobody does anything. Your QFS is already, you already have a QFS account attached to your bank account. Yeah. Yeah, Charlie Ward has tried to become friends with me on TikTok. See, that's what I mean. And you just delete them. You should report them. Again, I say, when you report, before you delete, okay, and block, please report it, because that way TikTok gets bombarded with all these reports, right? You have enlarged prostate with yeah, absolutely, it helps. You drink that every day and the prostate will go down. Yeah. Yep. Because it kills the parasites. I'll tell you, it's not going to hurt you. No. But I think, yes, your prostate is only got swollen because you've got lots of parasites in it. Microscopic parasites. And what's going to kill parasites? Clove water. And you can, along with all that stuff, you might have a touch of diabetes or whatever. That's where you throw the cinnamon sticks in there. And everybody should be drinking it. Everybody, I don't care. I got my little boy drinking it. The clove water. Yeah, he's 8 years old. But, he likes, they live in the Philippines, right? They like their shrimp. They like their crab. They like their, all that bottom feeding stuff. I don't touch it myself. But they enjoy it. So I said, okay, that's fine. You just drink. You want to eat that stuff, you drink your clove water. It's one of the best. I think it's one of the most all-around best medicines and herbal medicines on the planet. Is cloves. I haven't come across anything that's even given me the results that this clove water has. And that's my testimony. How you doing, Maria? No, I don't have WhatsApp. No. Hey, boss. I'm only on here, TikTok, which is QFS is free, Alex West, double X in there on Facebook, and then Alex, which is a double X on that, ALEXX 777 is on YouTube. Those are the only three. I keep it that way because it keeps it simple. There's many national anthems that has a strong history tied to it. Exactly. And that's why we got to respect that. Right. I know. Hey, Sweaty Bob. Hey, Thompson. Sorry. Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, we got, 250,000 what I have to go through. And I'm not complaining. I'm not, but like I said before, I do not want to be compared to any other truther out there, any other podcast. I am just a normal guy that's had a lot of history and learning through the school of hard knocks, okay? And I'm just trying to get the things that I've experienced. And if you resonate with it, that's great. If not, then that's fine too. I don't have a problem. I will help the people that are having a tough time, wakening, because, it's to everybody's benefit if you waken, right? The Canadian anthem in French and English, until we're in Canada, they signing, yeah, I know. And the thing is, I'm going to say, Canada's Canada. I love Canada. I just hate the system, okay? I love the country. I love a lot of the people out there. I just hate the frickin' system, right? The thing is, I mean, I got out of it a long time ago. I sold all my properties. I sold all my assets off, and I'm in a wartime mode right now. Okay, I mean, what I mean by wartime mode, I can have everything packed up and rolling inside 30 minutes. But what I am saying is that there's a lot of Canadians out there. They need help to get through these dark times right now, and I feel for the Canadians out there, how they're getting not just bombarded by high prices or high taxes or the cost of living, or it's really how they're attacking our children, our Canadian children, these social pundits and fascists, and how I see the infiltration of evil so bad in Canada, that I am here for the Canadian people to help bring awareness to how much they're being attacked and their families are being attacked. Right, that's really, really important to me. Canadian wildfires are killing us in Michigan. I know. And like I said, just put a wet cloth around your neck. Make it long enough. Like when I'm in the Philippines, right? I'll put a wet cloth and hang it down to where it's long enough. They have the long skinny ones, and they're long enough. And then if you have to cover up, you can just wrap it around your face, and it filters. Especially when the volcanoes go off down there, because you got all that part of the volcano particle in the air. It's terrible. I mean, I haven't hit it too often, but over the 30 years I've been there, I've been in three of them, and it's brutal. And then you gotta wash everything down. Yeah. I know what you're all going through. Like I says, it's that the best thing to do is maybe just stay inside. Have your air conditioning, keep your filters clean on your air conditioning, and just stay indoors until all the smoke passes. No, you don't need to sign up for Quantum. No, everything's mirrored onto your account right now. They even got your DNA on your account. They know exactly who you are. Yep. And there's 9 stations that you have to go through. The very first station, when you go in there, whether you got money, foreign currency or not, when you do go through the stations, because everybody's going to have to go through a station, depending on what priority you're going to be put in. And the very first station is going to be your frequency. It's going to be a legal biometric test on your frequency. And if you have evil thoughts and evil, it's got nothing to do with anything, on a, you know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, you might say, well, I hate my father-in-law, or I hate my mother-in-law, or whatever. It's got nothing to do with that. It's the real, there's a lot of evil out there, and they will pick you out. And if they find out that you have ill will gains for this money, then you will be not allowed to go any further, and your money, you do whatever you want with it. I don't know if they might even confiscate it. And the more I listen to my intel, is the more that I will see that any foreigner, whether you've made application or not, more than likely you'll have to go back to the birth of origin where you come from. Yep. From there you can do whatever you want. You'll be contacted by the Redemption Center. You'll be basically contacted by the 1-800. That's the QFS people. The redemption centers will be in regional areas. You'll be based on your given you the 1-800 number, and they'll maybe ask where you live, and then you'll be put into that region, and you'll be given notification address to go to, and a time and schedule set up. That'll all be done. First, it'll be contacted by email. or message, whatever it is. And then from there, you phone that number, and then that number will verify, through the algorithm and everything else. That's how we're going to work through it. You figure it out. There's only going to be maybe at the very best, my guess right now, maybe 30, tops 30% of the planet will be going through this redemption center. Yeah. The rest is, has got a lot of answering to do. There's one on Facebook, Big Daddy. Yes, there is. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He's trying to take over my content to steal money. And, the only thing we can do, I can't stop him. But I can't, the only thing I can say is not ask for money or never give any money out. I don't send money out. I got people asking me, all the time from, places. I'd love to, if I could, but it's a policy. How you doing, Pina? Hey, Relin. There's no signing. Thank you, Mojo. Yeah. Well, I don't ask for DMs. No, if you want to go onto Facebook, okay, just go onto Facebook and you can, friend me. You know how it works. I either accept it or don't. And like if there's any anomalies in there that I don't feel comfortable with, I'm not going to accept it. Especially having no picture. You got to have some content in there. Hey, Rubio just made amazing speech on terror. I know, didn't he? I was very impressed. I want to actually copy that and, kind of read it back word for word. I thought that was a very impressive speech. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And I can't get your name. Sorry. Is it Deb? Sorry. Well, you might be talking about the election corruption, but we're pretty much seeing it. All that's coming out right now. It's all, you're seeing it right out there. If you open up your device on any YouTube, Facebook, even TikTok, it's a lot of stuff coming on. Yep. Do I ask questions on TikTok to people? Yeah, I could, but I'm expecting to get questions here so we can get them answered, and even the intel. We want intel coming from everybody. I want intel what's going on in Australia, New Zealand, Vietnam, Japan. I want to know what's going on, because those people are you people that are the citizen investigators out there are going to be much more trusted in your intel than anybody that is doing it from their seat of their pants in central USA. You know what I'm talking about? I want actual boots on the ground. Like the thing in the Philippines with the that foreigner got shot. He was killed by robbers that stole their laptop and all this other stuff while he was in Sabaya. Well, Sabaya's that's way down south in the central Philippines. Lots of foreigners down there, and they get a little bit more, what's the word? They get a little bit more, not erratic, but they're a little bit more jihadi down there, because you're in the southern parts of the Philippines is still, and I don't call them Muslim because Muslims are peaceful. I call them jihadis. Yeah. It's easy to pick a scammer. It really is. When they're asking you to DM them, they are a scammer. It's really come down to that. Nobody should DM you. If anybody wants you, hey, well, let's just go over to I am Alex West. Let's just go over to WhatsApp. Okay, that's why I do. I try to stop this insanity from carrying on. And I will never do it, and nobody else. Anybody, I'm not just saying me, anybody that wants you to go to another site, Don't. Hey, Yang. Rubio's a smart dude. He's a smart dude, and you know what? He's certainly a patriot. Yeah. How you doing, Cheryl McLean? MB, how are you? Morning here. The White House, you folks are waiting on, is not white. It's a pale green. And that's good. Pale green means green, the greenback. And I think that's what they're exposing right now. I think this is why we're seeing the signatures of this new money coming out. And that's going to do just as good a job as taking the old money off, because if it doesn't have Trump's signature on it, it's dirty money. It's old, and it's going to be turned in. And that means all the criminals and, criminal corporations and all these guys that are holding bags and bags of it won't be able to hand it in because it doesn't have the signature. All the new money will have, they're going to have serial numbers that have the frequency thing to it, that they can track it. Yeah, that's all that. Yeah, plus the coins will have the tracking systems in there. The advancement is just, it's crazy. We're going into a whole brand new world, right? So I see where this is going. And like I said, you're going to start seeing that money, because we're still using ATM and everything. You're going to start seeing that money pop out. And eventually all that old dollar will go away. Eventually all the dollars are going to go away. But this is how they're replacing it all. So, I'm not seeing anything in Canada. I know that Trump is quietly buying up Greenland right underneath the noses of Denmark, because Denmark has done nothing. Their globalist puppets there have done nothing to help Greenland. Nothing. But they like to make that claim for whatever purpose. Maybe because of the Vikings at that time, and they have some kind of a heritage claim on it. But the Americans are using it. They're taking it over because it's a northern strategic location, not to mention all the minerals. And so is Canada. Do you think Trump's going to let Canada fall in the hands of the communists? I don't think so. But are we going to suffer till then? I mean, are we going to watch and experience all our brothers and sisters just to the southern border of the 49th parallel, be in jubilant celebration while we are struggling in absolute poverty in Canada? Is this how it's going to play out? And then, right now we're having record amounts of corporations moving into the States. They all moved out at one time when Trump came in, but then they started, you can see how stupid people are. They all moved out of the United States when Trump first came in, because yet they have Trump derangement syndrome. But then they realized what he was doing and how much all this stuff was coming in and how much money was being poured into the country. And then they just pick up their stuff and they all move back again. And this is what we're witnessing now. Me included. I never moved out of the States, but I'm seriously thinking of buying some land, either in Montana or Idaho, and still keep my citizenship. But I can come back because I'm only an hour away from the border, and stay along the borderline, and I can have I can feel freedom, because I know I got neighbors around me that are allowed to carry concealed or open carry. We don't have that here in Canada. I want to have that freedom. It's our God-given right. I think Idaho and Montana are very, very safe areas. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful states. And all the states around there. Yeah, it might be the State of the Union tonight. Yep, could be. Could very well be. Thank you for the prayers, Billie Jean. Appreciate it. Lots of scammers on WhatsApp. Yeah, absolutely. Military posers trying to get women and money. Yeah. Yeah. just like I said, don't play into anybody's hands right now. And you know what? If you send money, you're on your own. You know, chances are you're not going to get it back. I've always been a firm believer. Once your dollars leave your hand, it never comes back. It never will. Yeah. That's what I say. I never ask you to DM me. I never ask for money. I have never done that, and since I come on to the podium in 2015. So what's that? 11 years? Never asked for money, not once. And you know, people can say whatever they want. You know, you can look at my bank accounts, no problem. I do them every year, and all I receive in my accounts are my pension. That's it. So, you know, I'm a open book. I got nothing to hide. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. How you doing, Holly? Good to see you. Amy. Year ago person. I don't know what that means. Hi, Denise. Amy, how are you? Thank you, Denise. You had a lot of scammers asking me on TikTok, yeah, if you signed up for the QFS. I know. The QFS is already signed up. You're already got that. That's already mirrored. And, you know, they're saying now that your money's safe in the accounts, but you know what? There's no guarantee in life. If they shut the door, how are you going to get your money? You know, I'm just, you know, are they contradicting themselves? They're saying, oh, yeah, it's okay, your money's safe. You know, I'm going, oh, no, it's not. No, when you lock the front doors, how am I going to get my money? So that, I mean, I'm looking at it from a pragmatic point of view. I'm saying, no, you guys are going to lock the doors up because all the banks are going to have to crash. I want my money out of there before it does that, right? I don't know what you're saying about that. I'm telling you, all I'm saying to you about the 1,000 likes or whatever, you can say whatever you want. I'm just saying what the results are when I go into my live results at the end of the day. And that's who we got in there, you know. So, otherwise, if I'm not running those type of numbers or any type of numbers, why am I not being taken down? Because sometimes I get a little colorful. And, you know, I kind of, you know, jump off the reservation a little bit, and that's how I got slammed. But I'm not getting slammed anymore. Why is that? You know, you answer that for me. You have a Signal app on your phone. Is it? Yeah, it's military. Yeah. And they that's an encrypted. Yeah. Yeah, Signal's encrypted. Yeah. Well, we manifest all our, you know, our whole family here, our tribe here is a movement, and we are manifesting the algorithm. Okay, we are manifesting the algorithm, and you know, putting, you know, high positive frequency out there in the world, just by us being on here, and all the hearts running through here, you know, that's all very, very positive. And it shows the, you know, alliance out there that, you know, how we are all kind of coming together, you know, as one. No, I don't. Thank you very much. No, I wasn't on yesterday, Mojo. I canceled yesterday because I had bad Wi-Fi. Okay, take care. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Well, everybody should have everybody's back. Still seeing chemtrails in Carolina, I know, but they're going away. They're shutting down. This is a massive operation. Right? Yeah. Love and light. Hey, Michelle. How are you? This is how the best, yeah. This is how we can beat the system, exactly. We beat the system by love and light. By all coming together, and joining our algorithm together. Our love and light. And that's exactly why we are going to be so successful at this. They cannot penetrate our frequency. Thank you, Michelle. Hey, Ron. I got rid of the request. Probably a mistake. Yeah, well, just like I said, don't follow anybody when they're asking you to go there. Go there. That's just, you're setting yourself up. Yes, I mean, people will say anything, and especially we all know, we realize that the left is violent. Okay, they're violent in their actions. They're violent in their words. They're negative in their words, and they're just they don't have a loving, they don't have compassion or love in their heart. Excuse me. What's going on with silver? It's all being, excuse me, gold, silver, and all the metals right now are being heavily manipulated and driven down because we're getting ready for the reset. Yes, I know. Smoke from Canada is really bad in New York. Yeah, I know. I can't even imagine how bad it is up in, central Ontario. Or even east into Quebec or wherever else. Yeah. I know. Just keep a wet cloth around you. Well, I'm on there. I mean, I posted. If you go to my TikTok here and look at my postings, I posted my page on Facebook. I posted my page on TikTok, and I posted my page on Facebook or on YouTube. Yeah. Hi, Christina. I think you requested, but it was a mistake. I'm not sure. I don't. Requested what? For you to join me? No, I wouldn't do that. I'm asking you now if you want to come on and friend me on TikTok, to follow, and then I follow you back. I try to pick that stuff up. On Facebook, it'll you friend me and I friend you back. Yeah, after I take a look at your request. Yeah, and then you can answer. We can have Q&A over there. Because through the day I can pick up my phone and see, oh, okay, yeah, you got a question here, I answer it, right? Best way I can. How you doing, Louis Ann? Hello from the Netherlands. Good to see you. Welcome, you're in the house. Hey, Sparkling Soup. And Z Fairs. Hi, Denise. Really bad in Michigan, I know. There's no way out of it. Otherwise, if you got air conditioning, stay in the house. There is another way of doing it. But yeah, what you can do if you don't have any air conditioning is go to your furnace, okay, and turn your pilot off, make sure it's all turned down, and then just turn on your fan. Yeah. And then make sure your filter's really clean. And you can put, go down there and if you can get a box of ice, or, go down and buy a bag of ice and throw it in a bit of a container in your fan system so it blows into your furnace area. You throw that in there with your bag of ice, and that'll blow cold air through your house. Yeah. There's all kinds of tricks. Ice is... that's one way of doing it, and it'll definitely cool down your house fast. Just make sure your pilot is off. It'll, because you'll see it on your thing, on your furnace. It'll say off. Just turn it all off. Your pilot goes off or whatever. Because you're in the middle of summer, and what do you need it on for? Just turn it off. Then you can have somebody come by and light it up for the winter. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much. I'm just trying to get through all the questions right now. Yes, clove water, it'll help your teeth pain too, as well. Absolutely. Yep. You're drinking clove water, never felt healthier? That's good if that's what you're doing. Do you put honey in with the clove and cinnamon if you want? But make sure you use liquid honey. Like liquid raw honey. Why doesn't Canada clean up the forest so many years of this? I know. Well, I'll tell you the reason why is we have 10 million square miles of it, and we only have 30 million people, 35 million people, and they don't do. That's a pretty wide swath, and we have a lot of idiots in Canada. Because we are open forest bushland that is totally uncontrolled. The only thing that controls that bushland is the mountain lions and bears. Yeah, and of course the controlled government that come in there and drop fire bombs into the bush and start fires. It's really ridiculous. The corruption in Canada is, I think, probably one of the worst in the world. Yeah, and they try to hide it. At least in the Philippines, they know they're corrupt, but they show it. They wear the corruption on their sleeve, and you can see it, so you can make that choice. But here in Canada, no, it's a very devious, very evil. If you put it in a quart jar, in a big jar like quart, the big ones, canning jar, fill it up with clean water, and throw 24 cloves in there with a couple of cinnamon sticks. Just let it sit, and it'll turn to a tea. Don't boil it. No, you don't have to. How you doing, Bernadette? Yeah, you see me. Yeah, I know. I'm there. I'm usually there as Big Daddy, but like it says, I do sometimes get some videos out on Alex XX 777. Just don't give any money. Yep, thank you. Hey, how you doing, Rebecca? Hey, Todd. How you doing, Maureen? Afternoon. How are you doing from Ireland? Good to see you. Beautiful weather? Excellent. That's good to hear. Enjoy the sun. Get lots of sun on you. Okay? There is no recipe for clove water. You put it in a glass container. You fill it up with clean water. Throw throw a tablespoon of cloves in. And then 2 cinnamon sticks. And if you want a little bit sweet, then throw a little bit of liquid raw honey. Yep. There is no measuring to it. I just throw it in there you throw it in there to taste. If you like it stronger, throw more in. Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm telling you that makes your clove and cinnamon work for me. Everybody's, the older people all got osteoporosis. Okay, that's joint freezing and sore joints and stuff like that. Most of that's disappeared because, and I do it. That disappears also when I'm in the Philippines, but I'm getting everybody onto clove water because I've done some studies on it, and I'm absolutely convinced it's going to clean us out. Yeah. How you doing, Andre? Dr. Mayer, how are you? Hey, Pina. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hi, Kiro. Yeah. Konbanwa. How many cloves? It's only by taste. Tablespoon of each. Tablespoon of cloves and 2 sticks. Yep. Hey, yeah, I know chemtrails they're going away. The real Charlie Ward is a good friend of mine. Well, he does not. He does the same thing as I do. He does not DM anybody, and he certainly doesn't have time to chat. So you be very careful. How you doing, Goldie? And Joy, Melissa, good to see you. Yeah. Hey, Jules. Dave, good to see you. Yep. Yeah, we got good monitors here. They're taking out the, all the parasites. Yeah. I put whole cloves. Don't crush them up because you end up drinking it. Everything's, put whole cinnamon sticks in there too. Don't put powder. Just put the whole stick in there. Just leave it in there. And you can do it twice. Once you empty that jar by drinking it, you can fill it up with water again, and it'll do a round 2. You can do round 2 on them. Yeah. European Union is full speed ahead with the digital wallet. Yeah, it's not. No, the Global Alliance is going to stomp that out. The Alliance has got control of it. They're going to make it sound like, there's a war going on. But this is just to wake up the sleepers. I don't think that nothing that they do is going to fly. The WEF is gone. Yep. Hey, Lisa, Randy. I'm not sure how that read. Yes, it is. It's also good for, It is also good for FIBRO. I cannot pronounce it. So it's FIBROMYALGIA. Yes, it's good for that. Start drinking it. Just start drinking it. And trust me, I'm not going to lay anything out there. That's not going to be misleading. I will not do that. When you say Charlie is good friend, that means if Charlie Ward is contacting you and chatting with you, he's a scammer. Okay, Charlie doesn't. I know that for a fact. Charlie does not have time to chat. He's very busy, and he will not chat, based on security purposes. Yes, saying God, will help who helps themselves. Yes. Very true. We have to help ourselves. We were put here as warriors, not sheep, because we have to fight, we have to fight evil. We have to love our children before we, more than we fear our evil. We have to love our children before, more than we fear evil. Yeah. Use cinnamon bark. Yeah. Cloves and yeah. Let it steep. Yep. You can leave it in overnight and drink it in the morning on an empty stomach. It really works good. Give it drink it on an empty stomach, leave it for 30 minutes, and that'll get through your system and wipe out all the parasites. Yeah. Yep. How you doing, Sheila? Thoughts on Ireland fighting back? I'm very proud of them. Very proud of them. Yep. I've always had high respect for the Irish and the Scots, and even people in England. Don't get me wrong. We have what I'm concerned about right now is the NAZIs that are infiltrated in Ukraine. And because they're very, very evil, and they're also in Poland. A lot of NAZI, Antifa level idiots in Poland. Putin, being the Christian Orthodox that he is, he's fighting back against that evil. He's denazifying Hungary, Poland, and Ukraine. Those are the 3 countries that need to be cleaned out. Yeah. you doing, Joe Nick? Yep. I'm just kind of going through everything here. Hey, Zoe. Hey, Tiffany. Cloves. What's the drink? It's cloves and water. Just a big tablespoon of whole cloves, and 2 cinnamon sticks in a quart of water in glass, in the quart jars. You know, the canning jars, the big ones, the ones that look like have the tomato sauce. Those guys. Fill up with water and throw that in there, and let it sit overnight. Mark Samuel on Facebook said QFS is fake. Yeah. Well, Mark Samuel is, I had to delete him because he's a deep state conscript. He's all deep state. Yep. So get rid of Mark. Do not, delete and block him. Yeah, he's the one that I had to figure him out because, they were kind of tiptoeing around things. But when I started looking through his, they put all their content into pro Trump and all this other stuff. But really, when it came down to it, there was 2 of them in on it. Mike Samuel was one, and I think this Neil, I forget what her name was. But I read her shit too, and they're both got lipstick on pig's ears. Yeah, and I just got rid of them. Find out who that other person was, because I'd like to know the name. I was going to actually report that. I didn't write it down, but they will attack you. They've been attacking me, but I once I got them figured out. Because I was actually communicating with them, trying to, answer their article. The article was against me, and I just wanted to try to find out where they were coming from. But once I seen through their screen and seen who they actually were, they're deep state all the way. Yeah, they're controlled. Puppets. Probably soulless dogs. Yeah. Yes, normal room temperature is fine. It's a cold press, right? If you boil it, of course, it's going to be turned to tea right away. But if you got overnight, you don't need to turn your stove on to get the same results. How you doing, Christina? When I felt the effect, I was on it for about 4 or 5 days, and then all of a sudden I had a parasite explosion. Yeah, but that I knew right now. I mean, I was, I had parasites in me when that happened. Yeah. Does the RV happen? I guess is what you're trying to say. Yeah, you'll be invited. You'll be given a notification on your email, 1-800 number to call, and it'll be in your particular region. So, say if you're in Toronto, you'll be in a certain particular region. How you doing, Larry? When you start going to the toilet, that's when you know you're getting cleansed. Yeah, it'll come out. Yeah, good time. Yeah, we're in a digital world, all right, yep. But this new money is quantum? Yes, it is, yeah. Trust the plan, right? The new money, anything with Trump's signature on it is gold back, okay? Anything without Trump's signature on it, that's what I'm understanding. It's all fiat, worthless paper, yeah. Where do you find Charlie again? You find Charlie Ward on Rumble, only. I worry about years of not filing taxes. Good, and I commend you. Are you American or Canadian? Or you're the IRS? Don't worry about it. They're dead. Just make sure that you got nothing of value that they can take. I don't know about the IRS, but I do know that in Canada I say that I give you a gold star badge for getting it up to 90 gram, because it's not their money, and they're trying to ask you for money illegally. It's illegal. And you challenge them. If they start getting really crazy, you just challenge them in court, and then you send papers. Once you file it into court saying that this is all predatory, and these bills are predatory and harassment, you file that into your affidavit, and you file it, you make copies of it, and you send that off to the IRS or CRA. Yep. Well, we know. It's legitimate when they call or email. Yes, it'll be a 1-800 number. That's the whole that's the whole verification. Like when you phone them, it's a 1-800 number. You're going to call them, right? And they give you a at that point they'll give you an address and a schedule. So you follow up on that physically. You follow it up, right? It's really that simple. Redemption centers aren't going to be these big ivory towers or anything else. They're going to be a building that is heavily guarded by military. Yeah, Canadian MGA coast. Yeah, I'm not sure about that stuff. Thank you. Mark Samuel on Facebook says QFS is fake. Yeah, he also says Jayco, and of course, Charlie Ward, Gene Decode. Yeah, well, he's totally deep state, and he was working with another moron, a female moron, a complete idiot. Yeah, and they're both deep state. Yeah, well, either they're deep state or they have TDS. It's either or, right? Or they're just plain. Their IQs don't pass room temperature. It cleanses as well as tastes good. Yeah, I know it does. Tastes good. It's really good for you. There's no limit on how much you can drink. You can drink as much as you want every day. It'll just keep your body very, very cleansed. And that you think about all the clove that will kill parasites, microscopic parasites on contact. You keep drinking that in your diet every day, like you're drinking lemonade. And what's it going to do? Eventually, it cleans out your whole body. Clearly, I mean, and that's what I say. Taking a proactive stance on it, right? Yeah. Thank you, Teresa. Plenty of information to research. Yeah, you can. Yeah, I know. Signed over 20,000 to a private bank. They promised 20K back per month back. Yes, it's a scam. Absolutely. Total scam. Do not, and I mean do not, put your money in the bank right now. Any bank. Leave a couple $300 out, $500. Stuff that if they're going to say what they're going to say, then when it does open again, then it'll be there, right? But I'm not going to give them. I'm not going to base my opinions or my taking action based on a person's word. I don't give it. I don't care. I don't trust. I have a trust problem. After how many times I've been. Yeah. How you doing, Maja? Yes. Cinnamon and cloves will help with the flu, because it cleans out your lungs too. It's an amazing product. I mean, and I had got that figured out there through somebody I had been listening to, and he gave me enough information that got me interested, and I did some further research on it, and I started trying it, and it worked. Yeah, and like I said, it says even with cleansing our body, with vinegar and baking soda. And then throw lemon in, squeeze some lemons into the water and then put it on a cloth and cleanse yourself. Just wash your whole body down. and all that gets, your all that goes into your skin and gets into your bloodstream. So you're cleansing your body from the outside, and with the clove and cinnamon, you're attacking it from the inside, and you're going to feel a huge amount of difference in days. Yeah, in just in a few days. Yep. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. How you doing, Diane? Yeah, spread it out there. We want healthy people out there. People out there right now, they're walking around all crunched over, and I mean it. You can only lead a horse to water. You can't make them drink it, right? Yeah, they're NPCs with keyboards. They're programmed. They're soulless. Yeah, they're soulless beings. Hi, Melissa. Grand Rising. Yes. How you doing? What? Parasite explosion? Hit the toilet. That's what I mean by parasite. I'm not going to spell it out for you. Just make sure you got a toilet beside you. That's a parasite explosion. Yeah, we're getting it. How you doing, Donovan? Should you take charcoal pills to carry the parasite? Well, if you want. I don't think you need to. But, all this binding stuff or whatever, I think if you drink clove and cinnamon on a steady basis, you will, if you got diabetes, will disappear. And of course, your parasites, microscopic or whatever, even worms will disappear. If you really want to hammer it, then just start drinking it every day. I go through a quart a day, just drinking it as water, right? And then you'll start finding yourself, even if you want to put lemon in it too, that's fine. But you'll start losing weight. You can still stay with your normal diet, whatever, but you'll feel yourself starting to lose belly fat. Yep, that's what I'm feeling right now. My gut, I'm losing belly fat, big time. Just in time for the beach. Yeah. Love and light. That's right. How you doing, Carrie? Good to see you too. Yeah. How you doing, Lumero? I'm going to have to start with the cloves and cinnamon tea. Yeah, as of tomorrow. Yeah, just go down and buy it. It's at what, $14? I think your cinnamon $7, and your cloves are another $7, or for 15, $20. You're in, and then that'll last you like a month. Okay. Will they use that National Mercy system? Yeah. Where they send warnings to your phone? Yes. All the warnings will come onto your phone. They'll be, it'll be the Mercy broadcast system. It'll all come to your phones. And then you just listen to the instructions from there, right? That's who it is. Nay. Thank you. Is me. I'm the one who tagged you on Mark. Okay. So, you're welcome to stay on, Nene, and that's fine. I wasn't too sure about how things are. If I made a mistake, knowing that you were either, if you were an agitator, you have to forgive me for not, recognizing, because I have a lot of people I have to deal with, right? But you're welcome to stay on here. You want to friend me, you can friend me on here. Okay. I just could not distinguish the two, but I appreciate you bringing that to this Mark Samuel to my attention. I appreciate it. No, I did block you over on Facebook. I got rid of all that whole thing, but I could bring you back onto Facebook, no problem. Yeah, You're the one that's engaged to be married, I guess, from what I saw on your Facebook. Yeah. Okay. I'll take care of it, Nene. Thank you for informing me on that. So it's just Mark Samuel that was the deep state, player. Yeah, don't take anything in the emails right now. I mean, if you get a 1-800, and I know how they're doing this because everybody's, very leery about the trust. Everybody's got trust factors, right? Trust problems. I get it. But if they're going to give you a 1-800, just because they're going to ask you, where you located, they're going to verify your address or whatever. You just give them your address, and then of course they'll give you a number or address and schedule to where to go to, and you follow up on that. And that part you do physically, right? Now, I mean, you can ask to take somebody with you as a security purposes, whatever, right? But you'll know right away what that building is there'll be armed guards out there. There'll be military. They might be in plain clothes, right? They might even be at a bank. The bank might have been conformed itself into a redemption. I don't know. I mean, we're all going to walk through this. But remember that I think at the very, very top, there's only 30% of the planet will be going through these redemptions. That's how much evil we got on this planet. How you doing, Randy? No, Charlie Ward's not on Telegram. If he is, he's got from what I don't even know for sure. Maybe I should not even say that, but I know that Rumble. You'd be very, very careful if he's on Telegram. Hey, Melissa, how often you drink? I drink it. I drink a quart a day, daily. I drink it like I drink iced tea, or whatever type of tea. Yep. I'll go through another quart today, or even at least a half a quart. Depending on how hot it is. And I threw a little bit of honey in there. But you don't need it. When will the change happen? I don't know. It's going to happen this year. 2026. 2026, I believe all the money is going to be repatriated. And I believe, and it's going to be the start of the healing of the planet, including us on this planet, towards the end of this year and the beginning of 2027. So I think everybody's going to I think by 2027, everybody will have gone through the med bed, healing. Well, Carney's a placeholder. That's all Carney is. He's there to, they're basically exposing all the stupid stuff that he's doing to try to wake up Canadians. And it's showing, how we put ourselves in this position by, having at one time having a great relationship with our brothers and sisters in the United States, and to how we have been so humiliated on the world stage, and I know that for a fact. We are basically a laughing stock of the world right now, based on Trudeau. Giving the reins to Carney. Carney's really not the prime minister. He was never elected in. I mean, I don't even think Trudeau wasn't even elected in. But these are all they install their own people to run the country. And right now, Carney is strip mining Canadian assets to fill in his Brookfield shareholders, to make sure that they get all their investment back. From that from that climate change fiasco. Yeah, they expected to make billions, if not trillions of dollars on the climate change. Like you got Canada, having to pay this carbon tax of what, 35 million people? United States doesn't charge a carbon tax. Mexico doesn't charge a carbon tax. China doesn't charge a carbon tax. Why are we getting hit? Why are we getting hit with a carbon tax? It's all a big scam. And who created it? It's all the offshore banksters. The offshore banksters created the scam because we sat there and bent ourselves over the couch and took it up the hoo-hoo. Because that's who we are, Now, the days of Vimy Ridge and World War II, with my father fought in, you can't say that. They were the generation of young men with big kahunas. But somehow over the years, those kahunas shrank in Canada. What ID do you need? You just need 2 pieces of ID, right? Health, your birth certificate if you want. Got a birth certificate? Got a driver's license? If not, a couple pieces of ID, credit card or whatever, or any type of. You also need maybe for your billing, an address for your billing. But I don't think it's necessary. You can listen to Mark Z on this stuff. He's pretty. He's been on this for as long as I have. How far do you think silver will drop? Probably down to 54, maybe 55, whatever. It won't go below 50, I don't think. I can't see it how it could, but it's going to be reevaluated. Just hang on. I'd be out there buying more. I'd be out there buying more silver. Yeah, this is the opportune time to do it. Silver's going to go to $2,000 Canadian. I'm absolutely convinced per ounce. Yeah, and copper is going to go. I'm convinced copper is going to go to $100 per ounce, not $6 a pound. It's so heavily needed. Look at all the new technology that's coming out. I mean, it's just insane. And we're not talking, cars or electric cars. We're talking anti-gravity stuff. We're talking maglev stuff. We're talking computer chip. We're talking, all the stuff that's, this high advanced technology in the computer systems and space travel and all this other stuff is going to be coming. Trust me, we're going there. Communications alone is going to be, highly needed in copper and silver. They need both of them, and they should be both valued at the same. And as far as gold goes, it's pretty jewelry. It doesn't have the property holding. I mean, it looks good. That's what it does. And it's, and I would highly suggest that they use it, which they probably will, use it for currency. And that's fine, right? That's why they'll keep it propped up, because it's currency. How you doing, LA? Yep. You got information and on the form letters to send to the IRS. American, yeah. But just go to Facebook, or if you can't find me on Facebook, just follow me here on TikTok. Yep. Follow me here on TikTok and I'll follow you back. Just give yourself some. I can't see who you are. Is it Can Dim? Yeah. And ask me questions that you need to answer. But it's all about whatever forms you got coming in from them. That's fine. Then you just take them, make photocopies of that, along with other stuff, and make up an affidavit and get them into court. They'll as soon as you do court, they're done. They're finished, because what they're doing is illegal. Do you have to give them any of your personal information on the wedding? No, you don't. No. You just give them, your address, of course. They'll ask you if you're holding any foreign currency. You'll say yes or no. Everything's going to be put into priority. They'll say, they might ask you how much, but just say, well, I'm just say it's, it's lots, or not so much. But, they're going to get you into a location with a schedule for you to, come in and start going through to get that advanced, because everybody's going to receive a laptop, a phone, Q phone, and of course your biometric Q card. Your biometric Q card will and your phones and laptop will show everything on your quantum financial system on your dashboard. You can put any of your QFS money into XLM or XRP or anything you want. Buy gold, anything along that line. If you want currency, it'll be in the dollar form. And of course, it'll be the new gold-backed currency with Trump's signature on it. And everybody knows Trump's signature. If it doesn't have his signature on it, that's not the new money. And you don't want it. Will the speech tonight be worldwide? Oh, yeah, it always is, yeah. Yeah, it's not just in America. It'll be worldwide. Everybody's listening to what Trump has to say. How you doing, Gingerbread? Leone has those forms as well. Yeah, I try to listen to Leone because she's got really good intel. She reads out a lot of stuff that's coming down. Everybody's so busy right now. Could redemption centers be in a former bank? Yes, it very could well be. Yeah. The banks could be, transforming over. They could be transforming over. Yeah. Yeah. And you'll see, your frequency, when you first get in there, chances are the people that are going through doing your frequency are Palladians. Yep. But they'll look just like us. Or, maybe a little handsomer, a little more beautiful. I don't know. But, they will be Palladians. That's a big possibility. How you doing, Rebecca? Donovan, good to see you. Yep. Hey, LA6. How you doing, Emma? Sunshine. Hey, Stuart. Yeah. Hey, Shazam. Okay, gang, I got to roll. We'll see you tomorrow. I'll try to get on there. Like I say, Wi-Fi. I'll let you know, and I'll post it if I am